Alright, tapping back into the Empress in the reverse from the last reading, that's up now. Tapping back into her energy. Without the mature man, without the third party, I just want to see where this mature woman is on her journey at this time. Like, where's she at, especially in regards to this energy that I picked up of Moses and the Passover energy. I want to see where she's at. So I do want to pull one more card on that. I'm going to pull one more of these. Whilst pre-shuffling, I was in a lot of energy. There's a kind of energy that I feel where nothing's stopping this mature woman from what it is that she has to go. Look, shit. One second. One more. This is about a travelling away, getting away from, because I know the story, understand? So Moses was taking his people, the Israelites, out of captivity. He was taking them to another land. He passed through so many different areas, let's say continents, let's say, in order to get to the Israel, to that promised land. I mean, if you do the research on it, I mean, it will go into so much more depth, the story of Moses and the Passover, and how they travelled and where they travelled to, and where certain scripts were written from the Egyptians, well, not the Egyptians, sorry, the Israelites, and how they wrote in a particular way so they can determine their path. It's almost like that Hansel and Gretel kind of energy. On one of the videos I was looking at anyway, they went right back and realised that they ended up in all kinds of areas. As far as Greece is the reason why I feel like the Greek gods came up in the previous series. To tell me a little bit more about this. Again, that could go to the biblical. It could just be the story of Moses again, or there's a story in this situation that needs to be told. At the bottom of that deck, orphan. That kind of goes with the baby energy of Moses. He was an orphan found at sea, adopted by Pharaoh's daughter. Again, I just had a memory of I believe it was the card that came out was Dawn, kind of losing a bet and having to give her child to her sister, her evil sister it was in the book, or the Serpent Queen I believe it was called in the book. So there's some kind of energy around that. It's coming up again. Of course, an overall energy for this current situation. Now for this mature woman's current, what's the major arcana energy? Middle of a transformation. Bottom of the deck, healing. Star card. says Loyal Heart, card number 35. I will do the read out, but I've got somewhere to go, so I'm just trying to quickly pull the card. This energy was just been on my mind from since this morning. It says time to go. This is the card that also came out and fell on the floor. Card 45. There's emphasis around 10 for some reason. I'm just picking up. For some reason. Again, then 10 plagues that the Most High put upon Egypt and Pharaoh until he let his people go. 10 plagues. Or yeah, 10 plagues I believe it's called. Something about 10. I can't see it down here, but it came up when I pulled the second card. There was a 10 difference between 35 and 45, and for some reason I homed in on that. When I home in on numbers, there's a relevance somewhere along the line. Been reminded again of an episode or a series that used to come on years ago called Quantum Leap, where the main character would shimmer through different eras, different times, by the people in the era that he was in. They would recognize him as a particular person, whilst we the watchers were seeing for that same character he was. I think his name was Sam. Something more about this material. What is it about this material? So it says within the next few months. Within the next few months. Within the next few months, it says to take action. Again, yesterday's reading said it's a time to take action. Was the overall reading, was the overall card for the reading. Within the next few months. What made me come back to the reading is the Empress in the reverse, which is the mature woman's energy. Now I don't know whether it's a reverse because it's a whole new cycle for her, and she's now stepping into a situation where there's an ending of a third party, and she's also healing from a past cycle also, or whether she's in the reverse because that's how she's feeling energetically. Because this energy came out when the mature man was coming to her with an offer of a 2 of Cups and a 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, 8 of Swords. So it didn't quite make sense to me why the Empress was in the reverse when this is something it looked like she'd been patiently waiting on whilst doing work on herself. So tell me more why this looks so. So it says time to say goodbye to the past, is it? Time to say goodbye to the past. The reason why I say that because this is the card. It's a time to say goodbye. And it fell over here. I pay attention to where my cards fall. So it says something is about to end for now. For now it says. Within the next few months. Snow White, again, she's at the bottom of the deck. Could it be a child? Is it a child that this Empress in the reverse is having to say goodbye to? Because Empress is a mother in energy. In the reverse, it could be that it's a child, where this is the past energy is about a child who had to be left at sea due to that firstborn child demand, I would say, Pharaoh put on the firstborn children, ordered them to be dead or to be killed. So it says a time to say goodbye. So maybe this mature woman is having to say goodbye to a child. The orphan also wanted to show itself, oh yeah, at the bottom of the deck. And there was an energy that this Empress in the previous season of This Is a Family Affair needed to repair a relationship with her children. Number 13. So it says, this is a time when you are reluctant to see an ending. You may wish to extend the time you have with someone, or you may even feel like you are being cheated out of something you deserve. But the truth is that things must die in order to be reborn in another form at a later time. This is the chosen time to go, and from the ashes something new will arise, and it will be even better than you can imagine. Rebirth cannot take place without a death, and it is now time to end something, to let something both externally and internally die. It may be a long-held belief, a place that seemed to hold security, a friendship that has grown unhealthy, someone you've been going out with no longer wishes to see you, or a beloved family member who may not be in this world much longer. Whatever it is, let them go. Something else will return to you, and you cannot be reborn unless you first know how to die. This is your chance to learn something very profound, deep, and important. Do not miss by resisting what must take place. So okay, it kind of makes sense to me then. So although this cycle has ended from season 1 with that Emperor, and it was strange because my mind, whilst I was meditating on the cards and pre-shuffling and stuff, my mind was going back onto the Emperor of the previous season. Like, so where is he up to now? And I was looking back to like how real soaps and TV series go, and they always kind of show an episode of what's going on with other characters. So I will come back and do a reading on that Emperor to see where he's at this time of his journey. But for this Empress, this mature woman, it's like there's still something held up in this situation. And it's almost like until this situation, this cycle, because when I was pre-shuffling again, the real card came out. So there's something, before this new cycle can begin, something needs to end from the past for her. And this is the reason why I time to say goodbye fell over there. There's going to be some kind of movement within the next few weeks. Brother and sister transformation. I can't remember where I saw this reading come out. Oh yes, it came out in the reading I done in the last season. It was Friends at War reading, I believe it was. card number 25, but it's about transformation. So this is all about transformation. This is all about transformation. Bottom of the deck is Gretel. That's funny because I was referring back to following the trail. It's almost like someone has to follow the trail. Like I've been saying in these series that I've been doing, follow back the trail in order to find themselves, their inner self, like their generational, historical, the archaic record energy. Someone may have to look into that. To go back, having to go back in order to come forward. Card number 25. Snow White just keeps on wanting to showing herself to me. It just flipped out right on the Snow White page again in the book. So brother and sister. It says, so she hunted up leaves. She hunted up leaves and moss to make a soft bed for a little roe. And every morning and evening she went out and gathered roots, nuts and berries for herself, and tender young grass for the fawn. And he fed from her hand and played round her, seemed quite happy. In the evening, when sister was tired, she said her prayers and then laid her head on Fawn's back and fell sound asleep with it as a pillow. And if brother had but kept his natural form, really it would have been a most delightful kind of life. In this enchanting tale, which has variations from the old Nordic lands to the steppes of Russia, a young man and woman barely out of their childhood are driven from their homes. There is an enchantment upon the land, and when they come to a stream, the thirsty brother is warned by his sister not to drink from it, or he will be turned into a wild bear and tear her apart. At the next stream, he again just resists drinking, for his sisters warns him again that if he does, he will be turned into a wolf and she will be devoured. But when they reach the third stream, his thirst cannot be tamed and he drinks. And at this stream, he turns immediately into a young roebuck. His sister promises to care for him and to prevent him running away. She plaits a rope of rushes and gently leads him to the house she finds in the wood. She cares for him, forges for ages for him, so she looks after him for some time, and they live a beautiful life until a king enters the forest with his hunting party. This part of the tale is the ancient of the wild hunt. This fairy king will break the enchantment in part at first, but discovering this beautiful woman who cares so tenderly for her brother, but after making her his queen and caring for her and respecting her and her brother, the enchantress discovers this and comes after the happiness of the young woman yet again. This shows the relentless nature of resentment and the folly of holding on to it, because of course the evil one is defeated and balanced, and his human form is restored to the brother. This tale is about so much. How can you balance what you want with what will take place once you obtain it? How to delay your gratifications, how to maintain your integrity with the wild and yet be able to have a strong will, and how to live a good life when we seem to be cursed, and how to survive the envy of others when our happiness is too much for bitter hearts to bear. And of course, it is about close relationships with family members and the caring we do for the young, helping them work their way through the difference between what they want and what will harm them. Meaning his wisdom and instinct must be brought into harmony, living a quiet life in the wild, warning, unheed, living the consequences, love and tenderness, love and care for these young, for those younger than you. Teach others how to balance their instincts and their intelligence. Find comfort in simple pleasures. Live a good life, enjoy the rewards that will come your way. Do not fear envy, it is temporary. Transformation, harmony of the instincts and our mind, the love of a sister. Understand, this is about balance. This is about the past. Again, the reading that I had that was unrecorded, it says warning or alibi. The past is coming back. This past energy is coming back. But when this past energy comes back, within the next few months, I believe, it's what's going to close a chapter finally. That death card is coming in, that's the overall energy. This is all about transformation. This is about saying goodbye. This is about transformation, the card says here. This is about death. This is about an ending, a complete ending of a cycle that's still open, residue energy. This is about the healing. The healing's coming, and the new start's going to begin. Look at this. High Priestess energy. The Lover's energy. Judgment. Judgment's coming to this situation. This is good news all around. This is good news all around for this Empress. For this mature woman, let me say, because the Empress is right now in the reverse. So this shows me the reason. It's almost like a tired energy. Again, I'm going to show you the card. It's a tired energy. This queen looks tired, like she's an Empress, but she's slouched within her throne. Why? Because she's just been through too much. If you go back to the other season, it's like, when is this going to be over? It's like an ongoing cycle. History just repeating itself over and over and over again, but a time to say goodbye is coming. It's a time for that new cycle. Let's get some scary advice. Inner child, that's what it's about. It's about healing that inner child, those wounds, going back to the first season. It says, the fairies of playfulness remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly and fun, but stay safe. Listen to that. Cards don't know about Corona right now, but right now it's Corona. So people are probably stuck in this energy. This mature woman is probably stuck in this energy, just at home because of the isolation and the restriction, and possibly her isolation. But there's a time now for balance. There's a time now to start to have fun and heal that inner child. At the bottom of the deck, solitude. So it says, think of being alone as meaning you are all one and in total harmony with everything. The greatest treasures are those that wait silently during your quiet time. Let's see, what's most affecting this mature woman now as we speak? What's holding up this closing of this chapter, of this past cycle, for this transformation? Envious and gluttony. Be aware of people that's greedy, materialistic people. So it says artificial heart. Be careful that that's not what this energy is about with the Empress in the reverse. Don't allow no one to numb you because of what's happened in the past. That's the past. Learn from it. Don't go through it. Grow through it. That's what this inner child card's about. When it says the fairies of playfulness remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly and fun, but stay safe.